political force without real political structure. How much of structure would you say the Obidati movement have garnered over the last few weeks?
Over the last few months, Shehu, structure are people who are willing to genuinely work for a party. Structure is not the assembly of individuals to collect money kept for an election. Right now, what you see in APC and PDP is an assemblage of people who know that in the case of PDP, there is close to 2 trillion naira. In the case of PDP, maybe 500 billion. That money has to be collected.
What does the Labour Party have in its kitty?
Small, but enough, but adequate.
But you have enough.
We have enough to win this election. And it's legitimate, it is genuine, we can stand for it.
So those who underestimate that the Labour Party don't have the wherewithal, they're probably joking.
They are, of course, joking.
And
we are well resourced.
At the moment?
We have ever been resourced, believe me. We have never lacked anything to do genuinely what we are supposed to do. Anything that APC does, we can do. But ours is within our means that we can prove how we got everything that we're spending. The only thing is that we will not spend hundreds of billions compromising. We go to a book launch, for example. Peter Obi donates 5 million. Genuinely, and he has 5 million to donate. I sweat and I donate 4 million. Somebody walks in late, arrogantly donates 100 million, and he walks out of the event. Somebody else is represented and he donates 50 million. You can see 20 times more, 10 times more. At the end of the day, we achieved greater applause, greater appreciation from that family, that with the little genuine money we have, we came here on time, respected them, sat down, did all the pleasantries, showed them human dignity and respect for the occasion. We are achieving with 5% what they are doing with 20 times. Remember, I defeated a 2-term governor and a Senate committee chairman on finance. He was far richer than me, even though they took it back from the court. I didn't outspend him at the polls. Labour Party is not going to outspend APC and PDP. But you spoke about structure, and I'm telling you there is no such thing as structure in both APC and PDP. It's a conflagration of people interested in collecting the monies they have kept. That money must be collected by somebody. You can't leave them to go away, get away with that money. Tinubu does not have enough days in his life to finish spending that money. Atiku does not have enough days in his life to spend all that money. So they need to spend it on 2023 elections. And people, if you have money to spend, they will collect it. That's it. They will tell you anything you want to hear. You're going to win. But in reality, if they ever had anything as a structure, they would have at least sorted one problem of Nigeria. Don't stop me, Shehu. Don't stop me.
No, we are this
structure. What is the purpose of structure without governance? The purpose of any policy is to provide good governance. The purpose of that good governance is the security and prosperity of the nation. Where they failed, they didn't have structure. Only one party has a genuine structure in Nigeria, Labour. And I think Nigerians are continuously fed the wrong narratives hour by hour. And that's why these questions keep coming back to us. You don't have structure. These questions have to stop coming to us. They should ask APC, PDP, do you really have structure? That's the question to start answering, because Nigerians are good at repeating. The moment they hear something once, the tendency is to continue to reverberate it. And at this point, I'm saying that knock that away, bring up something that is not as uninteresting as continue to repeat the same thing. What is the interesting thing now? Does APC really have structure? No. Does PDP really have structure? No.
All right. I mean, those who understand politics well will say
we understand politics.
You do not have a single senator in the National Assembly. You do not have. I'm not sure you have any House of Reps member. No governor. These are political structures. But we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll dwell on your manifesto.
Yeah.
What is the need for Nigerians? Because that is a most important task that we must deal with tonight with you on the issue of the structure or no structure. So I was making reference to that. So for those, you have mentioned it yourself on the program to say, look, a party that was not as known, perhaps the most outstanding success that Labour Party has had will be Mimiko's election. Until the Obidati came on board, the movement came on board. And so for a party as of June, like you mentioned, and later on, a few months later, I've gotten this kind of followership. So the question is, should you, because this race is about winning or losing, should you lose this election, would you guys try again?
Quite frankly, I'll tell you, we're not prepared to lose. It doesn't look like, no, there's no such thing as, if I know in life is either or. But I'm a realist. I'm working, because Nigeria has to be saved. Nigeria is not going to die. APC has thrown the chance away for rescuing Nigeria. PDP has proven its incapacity to do it from the way it ran its primaries. So I'm not going to bet, I'm not going to take any risks on Nigeria. There's only one way. We don't have a choice. It has to move in that direction. When you were saying that it might not be, first of all, we are always on the front burner. We're in the ballot among the top two. And your question about the election going to a rerun, it was simply what I was telling you just before we went on break. Our people have this natural tendency and urge to always repeat and overcirculate one little matter that they heard, and which is of a little interest to them. Read the statistics very well. Labour Party, as far as the polls are concerned, is a distant first. It is the squabble for the second and third position, and the amount of money these two parties have for creating untold mischief that is confusing Nigerians not to see the kind of gap that exists between us, the distant number one, and the second ones.
So you will win. That you are in this race to win, just like any other of your opponents.
Absolutely, we're in this.
So you are not ready for anything other than not winning. Because what has happened in history is that those who have been that
Can I refresh your memory? Can I refresh your memory?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Buhari lost 3 elections. He was down to 1 governor. And APC didn't have until then. 80% of PDP moved into APC. And then they replicated the same government and misruled Nigeria for 8 years. There is nothing new, okay? It is about, you see, there's a war going on now. And it's about good Nigerians and bad leaders. Who is going to win? Good Nigerians have to defeat bad leaders, and they have to remove all political structures that have repeatedly been bringing bad leadership and sustaining bad leadership to Nigeria. That is the work actually going on now. That's the way to read it. Not anybody telling you that they have structure, when in reality they don't.
We may not have the time to dissect, because we have a special program for you to be able to dissect your manifesto. So we'll wait to that program.
That's very
where
good.
you will be able to dissect your manifesto. But this manifesto, it has been criticized. That is a copy. That is not original.
No.
Does it, I mean, do you have an idea of anything that may look like, even from the title? There's someone who has used a similar title.
Possible?
Yes.
No. The possible is for Peter Obi. Possible. And if it's a capital O, capital P and a capital O, look at that. Look at it very well. We don't copy. Others copy us. We're afraid to talk. I, in particular, bring out your ideas. Next 2-3 days, it's all over. They're already copying you and modifying it.
Why does it take so long?
There's little shame in plagiarism around here. This is the most genuine, most original document you can find in the 2023 elections.
Why did it take?
And that is why it took us so long.
Mr. Mohammed, why did it take too long for you, this long rather, to get this document out?
It is not too long. First. Two is that there were a lot of interruptions in the production of this document. For example, while it was still work in progress, we just find it online. We have to tell the whole world it is not the same one and give a safe distance in time. Sweep that away, make sure it has no more effect on the electorate before you release another one.
Now,
before you release the genuine one.
Can you, okay, so this is the final one which has been officially announced by you. So now the question is that you've made some very, very interesting and far-reaching policy statements in this 72-page document. So the question at the heart of it, for those who think that, look, these ideas are good, but how do you implement? Where would the money be coming from? Would your government be looking at borrowing more? Because the reality is that anyone who is going to take over this country as the next president or vice president, they would need to deal with the issues of our debt profile and how they need to also run the government and this country with money. But where would the money come from? The government has said that there is a revenue problem.
Thank you for acknowledging what we've been saying. Now, Nigeria beyond 2023 is not about what the leaders have been saying. It's about what the leaders can do and have done in the past. And so shall the elections be guided. It is not about what the people have said. The difference between us in Labour Party and others is, have we been able to deliver? Because talk is cheap. Talk is easy. Listening is risky. Accepting what you listen to is dangerous. Let me come back to your answer. Like I've said before, once you have leaders that are not stealing your money, you're pulling people out of poverty. 1. 2, we will extract best value for money spent, our procurement philosophy. Point number 2. We will fully maximize all channels of revenue, like meet our OPEC quota, use technology and collect all internal revenue. That's point number 3. Point number 4, renegotiate loans, restructure where possible, and begin to pay off.
All right.
Point number 4, I have all the answers for you.
Unless we don't have the time again.